Hi. Okay, I'm back. The meeting lasted about an hour, so that's why I'm now logging back in and making another video, and we'll upload it. Okay, we're going to take those three examples and we're going to go ahead and fulfill the zero product property to find the roots, the zeros, the solutions, the x-intercepts. That's essentially what they're called, those x values, because we're letting y equals 0. When you let y equals 0, the x values that you find are the x-intercepts, right? So we'll go over that when we start graphing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it. Okay. Okay, so these were the three problems that we used, where I just went ahead and rewrote the first factored answer here. Here's a second example here, and here's the third example here. Okay, so we're just going to run through and use the zero product property, or ZPP. Okay. Okay, now, again, all of this is review. All right, the zero product property, all it states, the theory of it is, if you have a product that is 0, then that means one of these two integers, but in this case A and B, then A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0, right? Because 5 times 0 is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. So that means one or both of these is equal to 0. So that's where the zero product property comes about. So it states that then we can take this grouping, this parentheses of x minus 2 and this parentheses of x plus 8, and individually set them equal to 0. That makes this x plus 8 expression equal to 0, and this expression x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, so if I go ahead and set both of these equal to 0, I get x plus 8 is equal to 0. And now you have a one-step equation. Just go ahead and isolate x, which means this constant positive 8 is going to jump the equal sign, or we are going to inverse operate. And so negative 8, negative 8. So we're going to subtract 8, and I get x is equal to negative 8. Okay, so that is our first solution. Because remember, it says to solve, but use the zero product property. Okay, so now x minus 2 is equal to 0. So plus 2, because we're taking it over. X is equal to positive 2. And so we have solved the first example. Okay, the second. Zero product property. X minus 2 is equal to 0. X minus 18 is equal to 0. So we get add 2, right? Inverse operate. X is equal to positive 2. So you can see we're essentially just taking the opposite, right? Oops, sorry. If it's negative 2, it's positive 2, right? If it's negative 2, positive 2, positive 8, negative 8. And that is because we're taking the opposite because we're inverse operating. That's why that pattern is occurring. Okay, and this is x is equal to 18. So again, these are your solutions, your roots, your zeros. So you can write as 2 comma 18, but do not put parentheses. If you give me this, when you graph that, that's one solitary point. That is wrong, trash. Okay, there are two separate points, and you'll find that out later. Okay, so this one would be x equal negative 18, 2, all right. Okay, here, zero product property. Go ahead and perform that. X plus 3, set it equal to 0. Subtract 3, inverse operate that positive 3. So we subtract, and I get negative 3. I hope I never mess up doing the math on these. I know I'm human, and I know I'm going to make mistakes, but that would be horrible if I'm like 10 minutes into a video and I mess it up and I don't catch it. That'd be really bad. Okay, so the zero product property. So you solved. These are the solutions, the roots. So I keep saying that, but when I ask you to find the solutions, the roots, the zero, wow, that's horrible. Zeros or x-intercepts. Those are all synonyms for what we're finding here, because it is where the quadratic intersects or touches the x-axes, and that's why they're called x-intercepts. And if you guys remember, how do you find an x-intercept? You let y equal 0. So it's no coincidence that here in the beginning, it's our quadratic set equal to 0, our quadratic set equal to 0, our quadratic set equal to 0. And even when we write it in factored form, equals 0, equals 0, equals 0, because essentially we want the zero product property to solve and to come up with our solutions, root zeros, or x-intercepts, okay? Okay, so your assignment, I'm going to end the video here, and I'm going to get to the assignment. So let's shut that down.